The Euphrates River is one of the most searched topics right now, and today we're going to be talking about why. Here's a little background information. Here's a picture of the Euphrates in 2018, and here's a picture of it now. So, what is it about the Euphrates drying up that's causing all this commotion and concern? The Bible predicted over 2,000 years ago that this immense river of 1,700 miles long and 1.7 miles wide would run dry and something terrible would happen for mankind. Like some Thanos level type bad stuff for mankind. Here are two verses that we should look at from the Bible. Revelations chapter 16. His sixth angel poured out his vial on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried, that the way of the kings who are from the rising of the sun might be prepared. And Revelations chapter 9 verse 13 through 14. The sixth angel sounded his trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from the four horns of the golden altar that is before God. It said to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, "Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates," and the four angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and day and month and year were released to kill a third of mankind. The number of the mounted troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000. I heard their number. Here's pictures of the caves that locals have been finding since the Euphrates has been drying up. It's rumored that these caves may be holding the four angels coming to destroy a third of mankind. The Bible says that when the natural barrier of the Euphrates dries up, an army of the kings of the rising of the sun will begin marching. Now, it doesn't say specifically what country it is to the east, but we do get this little clue. The number of the mounted troops was twice 10,000 times 10,000. I heard their number. This turns in and translates to be 200 million troops, meaning the country east of the Euphrates would have to have at least 200 million people. There weren't even 200 million people on the planet when this was written, so now that there's countries with populations that meet this criteria, it's pretty interesting. Looking at a map and based on populations, I feel like this might be Pakistan, China, India, potentially Russia maybe. Then there's the part about four angels with a giant army who have been imprisoned at the bottom of the Euphrates, and when they get set free, they go out and they kill 1/3 of the world's population when the river dries up. Which, this doesn't sound like a good thing by any means. It would mean 2,612,000,000 people die around the world. Now, if you're wondering how that may happen, well, Revelations chapter 9 verse 18, the horses and riders I saw in my vision looked like this. Their breastplates were fiery red, dark blue, and yellow as sulfur. The heads of the horses resembled the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and sulfur. A third of mankind was killed by the three plagues of fire, smoke, and sulfur that came out of their mouths. So, what makes the Euphrates River so special? The Euphrates River is located in an area where many of the key events of the Bible have taken place. Have you ever heard of the Garden of Eden? I ask because the Euphrates River is the boundary of the Garden of Eden. In ancient times, the Euphrates banks were homes to many civilizations. A prominent civilization and well known in the region was the Mesopotamian Empire. The ancient Mesopotamia was centered between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, which is called the Fertile Crescent. Those parts of the world are now located in Iraq. With a length of 1,740 miles, the Euphrates is the longest river in Western Asia. Flowing from eastern Turkey to the Persian Gulf, it originates in eastern Turkey, and in its course, it goes through Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. Personally, when I heard about this story, I was thinking Russia's to the east of the Euphrates. They have 200 million people. They have nukes. They like stirring the pot. It's gotta be Russia, right? I was thinking this might mean they bring the nukes out, which it seems like it may line up with the whole 1/3 of mankind dying if they do. But I could be totally wrong, so leave a comment down below what you think is going to happen when the Euphrates dries up.